Welcome to episode 2 of TheNoisyAxle, What's in My Trunk.
New guy.
I've picked 3 items, each with a story I want to share with you.
Break it to them gently.
Item number 1, Freddy Vs Jason 2, Jason's Wrath. One of the first screenplays I ever tried writing was a sequel to the 2003 crossover Freddy vs. Jason. The film pits 2 horror icons, Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, against each other. Freddy resurrects Jason to terrorize Elm Street, but things spiral out of control as the 2 monsters clash. I had no clue about formatting, stakes, structure, subtext, character development, dialogue. I don't think any of that consciously entered my mind. I was just inspired to write and imagine what a continuation of that story would look like. So I grabbed a wad of paper, a pencil, and even some felt tip pens to design the cover. As you can imagine, it was horrible.
Well, maybe not that horrible, but still pretty bad.
I began the story shortly after the ending of the first film. Scene number 1, Freddy's return. Jason carries a dead body into his house, which is next to a foggy, mysterious lake. Then looks at Freddy Krueger's head, which is stuck on a poker. He turns away to burn the body, and Freddy's head is gone when he turns back. Essentially, Freddy returns to Elm Street and Jason comes looking to put him down for good. People start dying, and our young heroes have a meeting to discuss the situation. We receive a recap of Freddy and Jason's history, their weaknesses, and the story of the first film. As one character explains, the people here got rid of him for 4 years. He tricked Jason Voorhees to kill the people of Elm Street, so they thought Freddy was back. When Freddy was strong enough to kill again, Jason wouldn't stop. Everybody in his path was mowed down. The most important thing to me was to see Freddy and Jason kill as many characters as possible. I remember thinking the more characters I have, the more deaths I can have. To me, that demonstrated how tough and dangerous they were. I wanted blood, and I even kept a kill chart to keep track of who had died.
Tim, I'm gonna give you the name of a doctor, Roy Fetterman, just...
In one scene, Jason hacks through an entire police station. I may have been inspired by a similar scene in the Terminator, when the T-800 demolishes a police station during a shootout, but I can't recall. In another scene, Jason is hacking away at people in a busy bar, but he's not the only one having fun. Freddy grabs some kills of his own. He impales a farm girl with a pitchfork, licks a girl's face before carving his name into her and cutting her throat, and dismembers the girl's romantic interest and reattaches the body parts in the wrong place.
It feels like a car door just slowly shut on my soul.
Despite the dialogue being painfully atrocious and an endless info dump, there's a vague resemblance of structure. There's a group of heroes, there's conflict, they're trying to solve a problem, and it's clumsily building to a climactic showdown. So I can't help but wonder, did I demonstrate an innate ability for storytelling, one we all have, or was I just subconsciously following the structure of the first film? Perhaps a little of both. How would I approach the story today? That could make an interesting video. I'll save that for another day. I'm glad I kept the script, but it's been sat in the bottom of a drawer for a long time. Maybe it's time to let it go. This is salvageable, right? The only other screenplay I have a vague recollection of writing around that time was an action comedy about a bodyguard protecting the president's son. That story disappeared with time, but someone had already made it. Have you ever tried writing your own movie sequel? Let me know. Item number 2, Double Dragon. Double Dragon is a 1994 action-adventure film based on the popular video game series of the same name. Set in a dystopian future Los Angeles, the story follows teenage brothers Billy and Jimmy Lee, who possess half of a powerful medallion. They must battle against Koga Shuko, a crime lord obsessed with obtaining the other half to gain ultimate power. Combining martial arts, comedy,
What a head case.
and sci-fi elements, the film takes the brothers on a journey to protect their city and unlock their true potential as a team. It was around my 12th birthday, and my parents bought me a DVD player for my bedroom. We had one downstairs in the living room, and they had one in theirs. But to have my own DVD player was kind of a big deal. The next present I opened was a DVD. It was Double Dragon. Double Dragon was the first DVD I ever owned, and I enjoy the film as much now as I did then. When I was growing up, I used to go to Blockbuster Video with my dad. I would look forward to going. I loved looking at all the movies. We'd rent 2 or 3 and watch them over the weekend. I developed a sort of addiction to buying films. Buying a new DVD was a special experience. Everything from reading the synopsis on the back of the cover, removing the plastic cellophane, opening the case and enjoying that brand new plastic smell.
What is wrong with you?
What do you mean what's wrong with? What's wrong with you?
Do you remember the first movie you owned? Let me know. And thirdly,
Beanbag chair.
item number 3, TheNoisyAxle. The noisy axle is a metaphor for the creative spirit screaming inside you to work its will.
Yeah, I heard you the first time.
Yeah, I said it twice because it's important.
Gotcha.
Maybe it's a bit unconventional, but the creative spirit has been a driving force behind everything I do, including this channel. For me, it's that urge to explore, to try writing Freddy Vs Jason 2 as a kid, or to collect movies like Double Dragon. It's what keeps me coming back to new ideas, even if they don't always work out perfectly. The noisy axle can be deafening, chaotic, rough, unpredictable, but that's all part of its energy and purpose, and its duty and obligation to get you to listen. It's the noisy axle that gets the grease. Charlie Kaufman, writer of such films as Being John Malkovich, Adaptation, and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, by his own admission doesn't look forward to writing and spends 90% of the time not writing. He writes because it's his job. You hear a lot that writing should be fun. If you're not enjoying it, maybe it's not for you. I've struggled with this narrative for a while, and it caused anxiety and frustration and paralyzing self-doubt, and you're haunted by the idea that if this is what writing makes me feel, then surely that's a sign I'm chasing the wrong thing. But the truth is, not every writing session needs to hit you with a dopamine fix. Don't beat yourself up. Just make sure to grease the axle. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in episode 3.